everybody can ride a bike, right? Is it really true? Let's talk about it. Hi, and welcome to another episode of the Culture Connection Conversations, where we bring you relatable stories of diversity.
Hi, I'm Filomena, based in the Netherlands.
And I'm Claudia from Luxembourg.
I am a certified intercultural trainer working with leaders and SME entrepreneurs.
And I'm a professional coach working with corporate leaders, entrepreneurs, as well as their teams in tech and beyond.
You call us when, as a leader or entrepreneur, your teams are struggling, results are going down, or there's friction.
There we go. Let's get to it. So today, everything is about biking. Take it away, Philomen.
Well, thank you, Claudia. Yes, biking. In my perception, it's something typical Dutch, right? I know in more countries we ride a bike. But in the Netherlands, I think we have over 10 million. So you see them all over in the streets. They are parked everywhere. And you break your neck, to be honest, sometimes over bikes, especially in a city like Amsterdam. So what do we do when refugees come to the Netherlands? We give them a bike. And not alone do we give them a bike, we teach them how to ride a bike. And then our involvement stops. So we assume a refugee or someone from abroad is, from a technical point of view, able to ride this bike. But what we forget about is that traffic is quite specific in the Netherlands. To give you an example, Claudia, when there is a red traffic light, we do not necessarily stop unless there is police.
That's the bicyclists do not necessarily stop. The cars would stop though, right?
Yes, but bicyclists and pedestrians do not necessarily stop. You know, whenever we feel like there is enough room or time to cross a street, in general, we do. At least I do. I know it's wrong, right? Especially in other countries, you stop and respect a red traffic light. But because the rules in everyday life are a bit blurry, it's pretty challenging and complicated for strangers to ride a bike. So you might be able to ride it, but then when you're on the streets, you encounter fast riding bikes, because we have fast lanes in the Netherlands, where you see bikes with people, they do wear helmets, pass by with 50 kilometers an hour. Or you see moms in the street who have like really big bikes, and they like have 3 children, groceries, and maybe even a dog in the bike, or they have 2 children and groceries. So, and they pass you by. So when you ride a bike pretty slowly, it's complicated. And sometimes I feel sorry for strangers having to ride a bike in the Netherlands, because they deserve an explanation, or they at least deserve more attention, or maybe even a first introduction when you're entering Dutch society, say Dutch bike society. Because we underestimate what happens to you once you're in the traffic.
Wow.
Do you recognize this?
Yeah, wow. That can be overwhelming, you know, especially as a new rider, because you know, as somebody who maybe learns to ride a bike as an adult, you're not instantly in this optimal coordination that you need. So you're probably already struggling with just riding your bike and staying on and keeping a level and balance and all that stuff.
I'm wiggling.
Right, wiggling or like swerving in and out in order to keep stable. And then you're supposed to like integrate into this fast moving, high powered, get out of the way kind of situation. That is super challenging and maybe even dangerous. I would.
I did encounter some people who were out so to say, for the first time. And I remember one lady, she was at a roundabout and she did not know what to do, how to cross it. So I stopped and asked her if I could help her, because obviously, she was almost crying because it really made her nervous. And people were passing by at high speed because, the Netherlands are not different from any other country. People go from A to B with a reason. And in general, there's time pressure. So they are not particularly patient at that moment. And then she told me, well, I just arrived in the Netherlands and they got me a bike and now I am able to ride it, sort of, as at a slow pace, but everybody is passing by at a high speed. And now there's this roundabout. I just don't know what to do. Should I is this a priority lane or not? And will people stop when I cross the street or not? Because I see a lot of people passing, crossing streets, even if there are red traffic lights. I just don't know what to do.
Right.
So I accompanied her for like 15 minutes. So we crossed the roundabout and we crossed some streets. And I kind of explained her how to behave or when to stop, or how to be a bit more outspoken or demand priority, for example, because sometimes you have to demand it. Otherwise, you'll be waiting at a roundabout for the rest of your life, basically. So sometimes you have to be outspoken.
Yeah.
So why am I sharing this, Claudia? Because we assume that being able, from a technical point of view, that riding a bike is enough. Turns out it's not. So we assume the rules in that society, which is actually next level integration, are like obvious, and they are not.
Right.
Because it's about the hidden rules, right? Next level integration is about hidden rules, knowing what is going on under the skin or underneath. And we should spend more time on it. Or maybe being a native Dutchie, I should realize that it's not obvious and be more patient and spend a little more time. Because next time I could be cycling in New Delhi and see, the same moms or men with a lot of stuff on their bikes and be amazed. Whereas to them, it's pretty normal. So when you compare this, we have loaded bikes with persons and stuff on it. And in New Delhi, I saw bikes with a lot of persons and stuff on it. It's the same, but the rules underneath are completely different. And we should consider, not assume, drop the bias, and just offer a helping hand, because we all need it at some point in life, right?
Right. Right. It's interesting to me how this very real example in itself, it's kind of a very nice example of what happens in culture in general, right? So you learn the language to go somewhere and you fill out all the paperwork and maybe you even get the job, and then you show up in a different country as an expat and stuff just don't make sense.
No.
They don't make sense. Sometimes even in your own country, you integrate, you move within your own country, and all of a sudden all the unspoken rules are different. You join
Yeah.
a different company, and
Yeah.
all of a sudden the rules are all different, even though a priori, with your experience, with your certifications, with your education, with the language skills, you have it all to be part of it, and yet you are not from the
No,
get-go.
this is, yeah, exactly.
Right.
It's the unspoken rules, Claudia. And, we take care of refugees, expats, right? Housing, how does it work? Taxes, bank accounts, bikes. But this is only the start, right? If you want to feel comfortable in a culture, like you say, a country, a company, maybe even a social situation, you need to know about the unwritten rules. And we should spend more time on it because it's not obvious.
Right. And I think that I'm thinking about this team of very well-intentioned people who came up with this idea of offering bikes to the refugees, a very laudable kind of thing, but they were assumptions that they made, even though they're probably already used to dealing with programs for refugees. I'm just assuming this as well, but at least I know it's an assumption. But that there needs to be kind of the stress testing of assumptions, and really try to figure out what is this environment really like, also from an outsider's perspective.
Yes.
Because it's just like the fish doesn't see the water that it swims in. It's a coaching metaphor that everybody likes, or it's a
Hmm.
metaphor that everybody likes in the coaching world. But there's so much that is just so obvious to you and so self-evident to you that we don't necessarily even realize that there's differences, right?
Yeah.
So I think that it's a very interesting thing, and I think culturally it's a very, very good example, just from how far assumptions can go and how difficult integration really
Yeah.
is.
So I think we can conclude that, let's not assume, drop the bias, and also zoom out a bit. Have a look at your life, what you consider normal, and ask yourself, is this the normal for my counterpart?
Right, right. And one thing that just pops in my head too is, don't just send people on their merry way after you have done your job, but follow up, talk to them, get feedback. Even if it's, later on, get feedback, improve systems that you put in place in order to make them more realistic moving forward. Yeah, but
Yeah.
assumptions, big one here. Thank you,
Yeah.
Phil, this was fantastic. Um,
Welcome.
so this was another little chat we had here. I hope people liked it. If you, audience member, have a nice story to tell, or if this kind of resonated with you, please put it in the comments. We'd love to hear it. And otherwise, if you want to show us some love, click that subscribe button, engage in any way by liking or commenting or whatnot. And we're always open to suggestions for future topics to discuss. Thank you so much. Well done, Philomen. Thank you for the story. Bye bye,
Thank you,
everybody.
Claudia.
Bye bye.